Okay, so what else can we do with blends in Illustrator? Well, there's quite a few things we can do. If you want to keep this blend and move it off to the side, that's fine. I'm going to delete mine. I don't need it anymore. And what I'd like you to do is create a new blend between two shapes here. So I will create a blend between two simple rectangles here. In fact, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I've drawn my first rectangle here. I'll grab my black arrow tool. I'm going to copy it by holding down Option on the Mac or Alt on the PC. And before I let go of my mouse, I'm also going to throw in Shift to lock the position of my object here. There it is there. And then I'm going to change the opacity of this object. Just by using the opacity option up on my control bar up at the top of my screen, I'll knock this down to 50%. There it is there. Perfect. I'll grab both of my shapes here. I'll go back into the object menu, down to blend, and then make. There's the blend between my shapes there. Now I want to do a few more things here. I'm going to go back into object, back into the blend submenu, and back into my blend options dialog box. You saw what smooth color did. That was the setting that was used when our blend was first created just a few minutes ago. You saw specified steps as well. That's the setting that's being used right now. So I'm getting 4 shapes in between my first shape and my last shape. And the last one that I want to use is specified distance. So I can choose specified distance here and then come in and specify how far apart would I like all of my shapes here. So I might try something like 1.5 inches. I press Tab there, and now my shapes are being spaced apart 1.5 inches. Now did you notice here, right now Illustrator is using points, but I was able to type in a measurement in inches. How did I do that? I just typed in 1.5, or maybe this time I'll just type in a full inch, and then just my quote, and when I hit Tab, Illustrator converts that to points. Just kind of a neat Illustrator thing that you can do here. When you're happy with that, you can click on OK, and there's our blend, starting with solid blue in my case, and arriving at my transparent blue down towards the bottom. And of course, as you just saw a few minutes ago, I can always go back and adjust my blend. So I can go to Object, down to Blend, back into Blend Options, and make whatever change I'd like. Maybe I'd like to increase this space here, or maybe I'd decide I want to go back to specified steps and make some kind of an adjustment there. Whatever options I want. So blends are always editable. Now, as you just saw a moment ago as well, what Illustrator is seeing is the first object and the last object. But what if I want to turn this blend off or get out of this blend? Well, that's no problem. If I go up to Object and then down to Blend, and then I can just simply choose Release. And that turns my blend off. I'm back to my 2 original shapes where I started. So you can always back out of a blend if you want to. Now, here's a few other things that you can play around with. I've got my 2 objects here. But interestingly, between the 2 shapes, I still have that original path. It doesn't have a fill or a stroke on it, as I can see at the bottom of my toolbox. So if you are able to select it, you can just delete it. Alright, I'll take my 2 original objects here, select them both. Now here's something else you can fiddle with a little bit. Over in my toolbox, I have a blend tool. So what I could do is I could click on one corner, one anchor point in the first object, and then click on another anchor point inside my second object. And it doesn't really look like a whole heck of a lot happened here, but what's happened is I've created a blend now from this point here over to this anchor point over here. So this is just another way to create a blend. And of course, Illustrator has remembered my last settings from my previous blend. Of course, at any time, I can grab my black arrow tool, make sure my blend is selected, and go back up into Object, down to Blend, and back into my blend options here, and begin adjusting my blend. For example, I can go specified steps, and then increase this here. I'll increase this to perhaps 25, just to show you what's happened here. There you can see the crisscrossing happening there that I set up by using the blend tool to specify where I wanted the blend to start and where I wanted the blend to end. Okay, let's start again with a new blend here. So you can delete this. Now I happen to notice that my anchors were hidden in Illustrator here, so I just hit Control H to turn them back on, even though I don't have any artwork on my screen right now.